Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live, special Friday morning edition. Yes. Got a, look, man, I know a lot of you think like we only could talk LeBron. LeBron is the only thing. But look, man, in this media game, when a story's hot, you got to keep rocking with the story until the story's over. And right now, the Lakers are hot. LeBron is hot. So we're going to keep talking about it. Also, because LeBron is he's the gift that keeps on giving, right? He continues to offer us different storylines and things that we can discuss. And so guess what? We are going to do that here on the Format Podcast because that's what we do. So thank you for joining me here today. I'm going to go ahead, give my little blurb, my little spiel, then we'll come back and we'll get started. And yeah, we got some good stuff today, so let's get it. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept aware anytime we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you enjoy the content as you listen, make sure you give us a like, a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us, and write it down, put it in your phones, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the podcast and you want to help the show continue to grow, make sure you go ahead, click that join button, join the channel. We're going to have some exclusive content just for you. All right. So see, we got 6 in the chat right now. Who's in the chat right now? Where are you coming from? So got your favorite hater. What's going on, brother? Salute to you as well. Thank you for tuning in. Who else is here in the chat? While y'all let me know that, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a brief rundown. As you can see from the rundown on the left, and real quick, shout out to Sports T, man. Shout out to Sports T. I was listening to her show this morning, and she actually gave me the motivation to get on here. Not necessarily the motivation, but the idea to do a live today and discuss Mase's commentary on LeBron reaching 50K and how that does or does not affect his GOAT argument, right? And that's something that I mean, if you were here the other day, 2 days ago, what was that, Wednesday, the day after he hit the 50K, he hit it on Tuesday. We had a lengthy discussion regarding that, myself and Transformer. And so I wasn't particularly interested in going into it again, but I heard some of Mase's commentary and it made me go back and listen to the show because I normally don't listen to It Is What It Is with Cameron and Mase. Now and then I do, and it's humorous, but for different reasons, I'm not a biggest fan of the show, so I don't normally listen to it. That said, shout out to those brothers because they're doing their thing and always want to see these guys succeed and do what they're doing. But with that, I went over there and I listened to what Mase had to say, and I'm like, yeah, I have some thoughts on this. I definitely want to go ahead and get out there and share with everybody. So that's something I'm going to do. Your favorite hater says, Bruce, at some point, stats can only take you so far. Yeah, that's true. And we'll get into that a bit later when we discuss Mase's commentary. But let's go ahead and get started with the show. Before I even get into Mase and what he had to say about LeBron and the 50K, this is something that I thought was interesting, right? While I was getting this show ready, cutting the sound up and whatnot, getting ready to be able to share Mase's thoughts with you so I could give my thoughts on Mase's thoughts. Something else happened. This was interesting. So apparently Stephen A. Smith was at the Lakers-Knicks games last night, and he was discussing it on First Take. I haven't had the chance to go back because, as I said, I was getting this show ready. I haven't had the opportunity to go back and hear everything that Stephen A. Smith had to say about it. So I'm going to give my thoughts very briefly. Apparently, LeBron ran up on Stephen A. after the game, and you can see that there was an interaction between the two of them. And if you read the lips, you can see LeBron is basically saying, and this is rough, but he's saying, basically he was saying, like, keep my son's name out of your mouth. Like, don't include my son in this ish, right? And I'm like, that's interesting. So LeBron didn't like Stephen A.'s commentary regarding Bronny. Okay, interesting. So let me go back a little bit, right? If you watch this show, this is an analogy I've given multiple times, right? I've often said two things can be true. And I don't know if it was the other day, but this is an analogy I've given. You got a beautiful woman and she bad as hell, beautiful face and crazy body, curves everywhere, plump in all the right spots, right? Everything a man wants to see, right? Just beautiful. all around. Just an amazing woman, type of woman that gets heads turning everywhere she goes. Cool. Now she goes to a particular outing, and she dresses in a way because she knows that there is a guy there whose attention she wants to capture, right? So she dresses in this way that it gets you to pay attention to those certain spots that I referenced, right? Those certain spots on her body. It emphasizes her beauty, right? What's up, Laker Nation? Shout out to Laker Nation in the chat. I didn't expect to do a show until Sunday, but gift that keeps on giving. So here I am. But anyway, so this young lady, she's dressed in a way so as to emphasize all the curves and all the beauty. She gets her hair done, all that. Great. She's looking just fine, right? Everything is out there and every guy is looking. But she wants the attention of this one particular guy. So she's getting attention from all the guys. But she gets an attitude when the wrong guy gives her the attention that she's looking for, not the attention that she wants from this guy. And so my analogy is, where in life do we see a situation where you're constantly seeking out attention, but you only get the positive attention? You only get the attention that you want. That's not how life works, plain and simple. Life doesn't work that way. You cannot control the attention you receive. You just can't, unless you're going to be super modest, right? But the point is, in general, if you want the positive attention, the negative attention is going to come too. That's just how life goes. Sid Bubba, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Shout out Sid Bubba. Salute to the Navy. Salute to those boys from Annapolis. That's another member of the channel. Always good to see you here. Thank you for being here, Sid Bubba. All right. So anyway, in life, you don't only get one side and the quote unquote good side that you want. That's not how life works. So I say this to say, this issue with LeBron, and this is just a brief thing. We'll discuss this more on Sunday's show. I promise y'all. But I'm gonna keep this brief for now. LeBron, like I said, ran up on Stephen A. at the conclusion of the Knicks game last night, and he was basically like, "Keep my son out this ish," right? Basically saying, "Stop talking about my son." And so this is really, really stupid. And this is really, really stupid because LeBron James, you put your son in the line of fire. Now you're mad because people are shooting at him. Plain and simple. You put your son in the line of fire from the time he was in 8th grade. Then you went through all this. Then you got him drafted when he didn't deserve to be drafted. Is he playing much better in the G League now? Absolutely. There's no question about that. That doesn't change the fact that he didn't deserve to be drafted, and you put him there, right? You put him in the face of all this attention, right? You put him in the face of all this scrutiny, not just because you got him drafted and sent him to the G League. Oh no. Or just got him, taken in the G League. You got him drafted to the Lakers, made a big deal of it, made a big deal of being the first father-son duo to ever play in a game, blah, blah, blah. Did all that, made history. Cool. But you expect when he doesn't play well for people not to go at him. Are you freaking serious, LeBron? Talk about entitlement. This is why so many people are not fans of yours, because you move in this way. It's disingenuous, right? And you're so entitled that you truly believe that you can control the media to the point of saying to the most powerful voice in sports media, "Keep my son out of this." That's not how this works. And I got to tell you, LeBron, you are extremely powerful. I don't know if making an enemy of the biggest voice in sports media is the best move. So I don't know. We'll see what goes on in the future, but that was my immediate thoughts. Because again, I haven't had the opportunity to go back and listen to what Stephen A. had to say about this interaction. But I mean, just from the surface, and I'm sure I've said something like this previously, it's really freaking stupid. And I try not to call names, and I'm not saying he's stupid. I'm saying, LeBron, this was stupid for you to get upset at people criticizing your son when you put him in the line of fire. Dumb. So that's that. What's up, Edward? What's up? Laker Nation. Bruce couldn't help do a LeBron show. You missed it. What I was saying at the opening, man. LeBron, the Lakers and LeBron, and, with the Luka trade first, and then LeBron hitting the 50,000 points and all that. There's so many different aspects to this, and LeBron is just the gift that keeps on giving. So if you're in the sports media, you're going to talk about this. So, I mean, you could say that, but it is what it is. But that's cool. That's just going to be what it's going to be. And we're going to keep talking LeBron until LeBron is no longer a major topic of conversation. Real quick, people like to say, all y'all do is hate on LeBron. All y'all do is talk about LeBron. Let's just say that the people who say all we do is hate on LeBron, let's just say we're right. We make a concerted effort to hate on LeBron. That's all we do. Do y'all think, y'all LeBron lovers, y'all LeBroniacs, do y'all really believe that LeBron does not gain from all this attention, negative or positive? Do you really believe that? Do you really? Because LeBron could help himself a lot by just getting off social media, but he doesn't do that, right? LeBron loves all this because he subscribes to what? The philosophy of there's no such thing as bad publicity. LeBron isn't dumb when it comes to this media game, right? So y'all can cape up for him all you want. Y'all can sit here and talk about when LeBron retires, y'all ain't gonna have nothing to talk about. Oh, that's cool. But check this out, though. Real talk. When I'm not talking about LeBron, where are y'all? Where are y'all? The same ones who say, when LeBron gone, y'all gonna have nothing to talk about. But when I'm not talking about him, and y'all know this is not a LeBron-centric channel, this is a sports channel. We talk football, we talk boxing. If you go back through the episodes, through the archives on this channel, I've talked World Cup soccer, right? I've talked a lot of different I've talked Olympics, right? I talk a lot of different things. So this is not just an NBA channel. This is not just a anti-LeBron channel. So y'all could chill with that. But where are you when I'm talking about all these other things, NFL, all that? Where are you? Numbers aren't the same. So you can say what you want to say, but it is what it is. Let's get it, y'all. So here's the next thing, all right? Mase and LeBron James. So obviously for the last few days, LeBron James hitting 50,000 career points is, that's the biggest story, I think, in the American sports world. It may be the biggest story in the sports world, period, right? Sid Bubba says, Format Podcast, LeBron is a journalist's dream. He's the most intriguing man in sports, good or bad. That's probably the case. Maybe not the most intriguing, but the most polarizing, certainly. So I hear you. And I have no problem with that, Sid Bubba. And I know you're an intelligent guy. You understand this as well. But those who say, you just hating on the man, and when he's gone, you'll have nothing to talk about. Those are the same ones that disappear when I'm not talking about him. So they could hold that. You know what I mean? But anyway, so where was I? Yes, Mase and LeBron's 50K. So LeBron's 50,000 points has been the biggest story in sports, maybe in the world, over the last few days. So remember, one of the big things I talked about on the show a couple of days ago was, okay, only in the US. That's fine, your favorite hater. But regardless, one of the things I talked about the other day, and this is another quick aside, was why is it that when we talk about LeBron, we package the 50,000 points, the total points, right? His career regular season and postseason numbers, right? I was literally just reading an article on MSN on my timeline before getting onto the show here, and it was kind of about this dichotomy between Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan. Not really a mention of LeBron, right? But one of the things that was said was, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar retired with the record of 38,000, so on, career points. And it goes exactly to what I was saying earlier. They didn't add in his playoff points. They only referenced his regular season points. They didn't add in the playoffs. So again, this is what I always talk about when I talk about the manufacturing and the way LeBron is presented by the media. Everything you're seeing, 50,000, 50,000, 50,000. Okay, easier number to push out there. I get it. But again, disingenuous. Not disingenuous in lying that he scored 50,000, because clearly he did. And that's no easy accomplishment. That's going to be one of the all-time, whatever he finishes with is going to be one of the all-time great numbers in the history of sports, right? So no question. But that whole 50,000 point total, that's the BS that I talk about. Now, the LeBronites, the LeBroniacs, whatever you want to call them, there's another word for them. I'm not going to use that term here, but those people have no problem with the disingenuousness. They love it, right? But it is what it is. I just wanted to point that out. So yeah, Mase was on his show. Cameron wasn't there. It was two young ladies there. I don't know their names because, again, I don't really watch the show because I'm not necessarily a huge fan of the way Cameron purports himself on the show, but it's his show. It is what it is, and it's doing well. So shout out to those fellas. Congrats. But yeah, Mase was on there and they discussed this topic at length. And so let's see, I cut about a little over 9 minutes on this. And Mase had some really interesting commentary, and I really enjoyed it. And it was something I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And y'all know how I do. I'm going to start it, and I'm going to play, and I'm going to pop in from time to time and give my thoughts on what's said, pop back out, and then continue the video. All right. So let's go ahead and let's listen to what Mase had to say. And then at the end of this, I'm going to take some calls. All right. Let's go.
LeBron is great at the longevities he's having. Let's just put apples where apples go, and let's put oranges where oranges go. It wouldn't matter if he gets 70,000 points, right? We're not weighing them against points. We're weighing them against the dominance. If I play much longer, I'm going to get much more points. We're not going by points. If we were going by points, then that means Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would have been the GOAT until LeBron passed him. That's not what we're equating this to.
All right. So first interruption. So one, I'm not going to agree with everything Mase has to say here. I agree with a lot, but we can't just summarily dismiss LeBron's accomplishments because he played a long time, right? Robert Parrish, I think, played 22 years also, and I don't know if he averaged 2 points in his final season, right? He played a long time, even though he's a Hall of Famer. I think Kevin Willis played 20 years. There's a few guys. Vince Carter played 22 years. Vince Carter might have averaged like 7 points in his final year or whatever. So there's a lot of guys whose numbers drastically decrease late in their career. Totally get it. Now, I think I've also mentioned one of the things I talked about on the previous show with Transformer, that back in the day, the game was so much more physical that later in your career, that physical toll had racked up a lot on your body. Now, LeBron, even though he has the most games, I think he's got the most games played now, most playoff games. So he got a lot of mileage on his legs. He didn't get physically beat up for so long in his career the same way a lot of these other guys did. And that's part, along with incredible genetics, of what has allowed him to continue to stay relatively durable and play at a high level for so long. So it's not just a function of you play a long time, you're going to have the most points. Now, that said, he's got, when he passed Michael Jordan, for instance, in the 30-point games, that took him 7 more years to do it. When he passed Michael Jordan in total points, I think it took him 3 or 4 more years to do it, right? So, we also can keep that context in our minds as well. The other point that he made in this first little snippet that I've put on pause here was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And this is a question that I have often asked, right? You had so many people who were saying when LeBron passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, well, this makes him the GOAT. How does that make him the GOAT? Because I didn't hear any of those people saying that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the GOAT because he was the all-time leading scorer. He had 6 championships and he had 6 MVPs. None of those people who said that LeBron becoming the all-time leading scorer made him the GOAT were saying that about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So someone tell me, what's the difference? Why, when Kareem had more career achievements, more career winning, and more career points, was he, and I'm not saying he was, but I'm talking in the warped logic of LeBroniacs, why was he not the GOAT at that point? Oh, he wasn't. Just because he wasn't. Okay, carrying on. Let's go.
I think people keep missing the argument because they keep trying to slide in new information. New information doesn't change what it is that we're basing this upon.
So interesting point there, right? A lot of people say, my opinion can change with new information. And I get that, right? If we discover that our premise in mathematics has been wrong for all these years, and it can be factually and summarily explained that 1 + 1 no longer equals 2, 1 + 1 now equals 5, right? And they teach it to us. They show us the mathematics we've been doing all this time was wrong, blah, blah, blah. Here's how it really works. Okay, cool. That's new information. I must now change my opinion that 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 1 now equals 5. Got it. But this is a situation what he's talking about, right? None of that. The standard hasn't changed. The standard for what greatness is. But with each new accomplishment, people are trying to say, well, this makes LeBron the GOAT. Well, I thought passing Kareem made LeBron the GOAT. Now scoring 50,000 makes LeBron the GOAT. Like, what is it? What makes LeBron the GOAT? Watch. Let's say the Lakers go ahead and finish this job this year, right? They're playing incredible basketball, by the way. One of the best defensive teams in the league, one of the best offensive teams in the league. Lakers playing phenomenal basketball. Let's say they finish out the job, as much as it would make me hurl all over my keyboard, and they win the championship this year, right? Catch up to Boston, tie them at 18. Awesome. You will hear, I guarantee you'll hear a bunch of LeBroniacs come out saying, well, this makes LeBron the GOAT. Wait a minute. I thought passing Kareem made LeBron the GOAT. I thought coming back from 1-3 in the finals made LeBron the GOAT. I thought that 50,000 career points scored made LeBron the GOAT. Which is it? What makes LeBron the GOAT? The reason that they keep doing this is because they know LeBron is not the GOAT, and he's just hanging around trying to add more things because they think that will make him the GOAT. So, all right, let's keep going. Real quick, Laker Nation says, to answer your question, Bruce, they're trying to push LeBron past Jordan. That's why they glaze every accomplishment, which is nauseating. Absolutely. I know the answer. I'm just trying to get the LeBroniacs to think a little bit. I know what the answer is. I'm just trying to get them to think a little bit. Okay. Let's go back to Mase.
It could change the numbers. It could change the status of yourself, but it doesn't change. We're talking about the chips. We're talking about the dominance. We're talking about when it's asked for, you deliver. It doesn't matter if you get 60,000 points. If at the end of this, you go out the second round. You understanding what I'm saying? Because a girl got a better BBL doesn't make her like, come on now. Yeah, you're 50 years old and can still wear Daisy Dukes. That don't make you the finest girl ever lived. That just means you look good for your age. Looking good for your age doesn't make you the GOAT. And that's what people are doing. They're talking about you looking good for your age. And if you look good for your age, that means you've been looking good for a long time. That still don't make you the baddest ever. Is that correct as a woman?
That was a great analogy right there. I really like that. And I definitely think that was an awesome analogy. Just because you're the best for your age doesn't make you the best ever. And I think that's what I know that's what we're seeing and hearing here with LeBron. And let me be clear, because I know I got this rep as a LeBron hater. I prefer to consider myself a LeBron truth teller, but that's a whole different story, different argument, I should say. When it comes to LeBron, it's not about, for me, I have to be honest and say he is clearly, and I know I've said this multiple times on multiple episodes of this show, he is clearly playing at the highest level we've ever seen anyone play this late into their career. There's no question about that. Now, again, like May said, that doesn't make you the GOAT. Let's carry on.
Does that make you the baddest ever?
Ever subjective. Bad for that time.
It make you bad for that time. Exactly. But it doesn't make you the baddest ever because you was able to keep a physique at 60 years old. Your legs still look good in high heels or whatever it is. And I'm not comparing LeBron. I'm trying to make this a understandable point for ladies. Because if you see a lady that looks good at 53, it doesn't mean she looks better than Vanessa Williams, right?
So when you say that, and I want Tristan to finish her point.
Do you understand that point? That y'all don't have to agree with me. Do you understand?
I understand. I understand. So I understand your point, and I didn't want to go off on a tangent. And I'm going to make this point really, really quick because also to that point,
I hate lies. I hate lies. I really do. I hate.
Real quick, I hate lies too, and that's a big part of what I try to do on this channel is dispel false narrative and lies. But if we're real, LeBroniacs lie a lot, and they have convinced themselves of so many of the lies. But I guess that's going to be what it is, man. But let's carry on.
Wow. You can say what you want, but to even like compare, like, okay, best for longevity, baddest for that time. And then for women, I think of like Kim Kardashian, right? She's looked good for the longevity of her career, which also in comparison, I'm not saying like Kim Kardashian is the looks of like LeBron in basketball, but like kind of, because that's the same kind of concept.
Okay. So I'm glad you said that, because the way Kim Kardashian came about her success, for me, I don't value that. Because of the way she came about it. To other people that have different morals and different principles, they may look at that and like, so what? She's a billionaire. I don't count money that you get the wrong way. I don't count that. You know what I'm saying? There's some people like, oh, I won 100 games. But you won 100 games on steroids. I feel the same way about rap. If it comes out that these rappers did these things to be at that level, And I'm like, no, bro, I was doing that without doing that.
Yeah.
So I don't hold a success on the same level. At that point, even if you were looked at as the GOAT, we're taking that GOAT status down because you got there the wrong way.
All right, so he's going to further go into this, but real quick, I just want to touch on this point, and I think it's super cool that he brought that up in terms of how you came about what you have. I don't have to respect that if my values aren't in line with it, and I keep referencing it again and again. The all-time great point guard John Stockton, he said it very succinctly, and this is one of the best ways I've ever heard anyone phrase it when it comes to LeBron. What he said was. He said LeBron took the helicopter to the mountaintop. The rest of us had to try and climb it. Now, Mike is sitting up there kicking everybody down. He's sitting up there at the top of the mountain kicking everybody down as they're trying to get up. But LeBron, he said, I'm not going through all that. I'm getting in the helicopter. Some people call that working smarter, not harder. I, Bruce, hope, while some people may disagree, call that cheating the game. That's what I call it. Hey, real quick, y'all. Let me give a shout out to Taj. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Thanks for joining in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. My main man opinion stated. What's good, Q? Good to see you. Nino was good, my brother. Always good to see you in here, man. Bron is not the GOAT, Nino. Stop it. There's no might be. He's not the GOAT, plain and simple. All right. But anyway, so by the way, if y'all are here, you haven't hit that like or subscribe, please make sure you hit that for me. Hit that like and subscribe and hit that share button too, man. Let's get this out there, man. We going at it right now, and we trying to make this channel grow, and we got some good stuff popping. Carrying on.
You didn't get there honestly. You got there, now all this stuff comes out. You got there these ways? Nah, I don't respect that. You're nobody. You're actually lower than the people who we thought was under us.
That's a really good point, and I kind of want to get your perspective on LeBron more then. So in that analogy, do you think that there's something besides the amount of rings that is bringing LeBron down in terms of the dominance? Like, do you think
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It's not just the rings are one. Of course, it's the championships, and there's people who won more championships than Jordan. So it's not just the rings, but it's showing up when it counts. Isn't that what makes you great? All
right, let me stop this real quick. Shout out to my main man Nino. Thank you with the $4.99 super chat. I know that's not a GOAT. I know I don't see that. Man, you out here on some Shannon Sharp. Go James. Bah. No, GOAT. LeBron is not the GOAT. LeBron is not the GOAT. Okay, but again, thank you for the super chat, Nino. So this is where I got to push back on Mase, right? And I don't know if he was specifically referring to this when he said kind of being there when it's needed. And I have said on this show, I believe LeBron James is arguably the greatest Game 7 player in the history of the NBA. He has been awesome in Game 7s. I can't even front on that. So we know that there's a narrative that he's not clutch. Now, if you're talking, that last shot thing, we had a good discussion about that maybe last week, and he's right up there in terms of the numbers. It's kind of hard to change people's perceptions of you once they're set. Not just in sports, but in life in general. So I think people believe that about him, but the numbers don't bear it out. Even though Kobe may have the lower percentages, he has the most game winners in NBA history. That's inarguable, even though he played 2 less seasons than LeBron did. And we also just got to say, like I said, LeBron is the best Game 7 player, arguably, in NBA history. And again, he's he is way up there in terms of the late game percentages on clutch shots. I can't even argue that. All right, carrying on, Mase.
He's sure when it counts. That's why people love God, because he comes through. He's faithful. He's faithful. Is no excuse for not delivering. That's what I'm more so talking about. It's not the 50,000 points. I said it myself. If LeBron wins a championship with his son, then I could start having that conversation. Until then, I can't have that conversation until you come through, pause, when we really need you to, without excuse. Him joining other people to get those rings, that definitely plays into his legacy. That would be no different than if you find out that I was buying all my sales. That plays into how we look at you, right? We can't throw that away. We can't highlight the things that you do good and turn a blind eye on the things that weren't correct. Is that correct? Or we just, because that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so with that, remember, Tawdry Beast, what's good? Good to see you. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate your comment. Definitely agree. The way you get the results matter. But, this is a different time, a different culture, a different mindset among people. And so we are conditioned, unfortunately, to settle for less and accept less, right? And so at the end of the day, if you get the end results, that's all people care about, right? Because when I bring that up in these different debates I have with people, the LeBroniacs or whoever, they're quick to tell me, oh, it doesn't matter. He got the job done. Okay. Well, how can degree of difficulty not matter? You know what I'm saying? Degree of difficulty has to matter. Jet Flyer 420. Yeah. Oh, Jet Lifer 420. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Good to see you. I don't think I've seen you in here either. Definitely appreciate your feedback. All right, let's keep going.
You joining teams, you're moving stuff around so you can. It's like me going in a park and there's 2 7-footers and all the other kids are 5'10". And I picked the 2 7-footers and I'm playing against all of the kids 5'10". But you want me to believe that you did something? No, you were playing with you stacked your team. You stacked your team.
So I don't see. I think that was a good analogy as well. Why do people not see it? Why do people not see that, when you manipulated your circumstances, it made you a lot easier to win? So it's not, yes, you won at the end of the day, but it's not necessarily the same thing as, you going through the fire. Like, why do people not see the difference there? Somebody put in the chat why people don't see the difference. I really don't get that. It's the same thing. Like I always say, the very simple point of we both run 100 meters. You run yours uphill. I run mine flat. Am I really faster than you? It's the same thing. Now, there's going to come a time, right, when history is not going to remember all the nuance. They're just going to see the insane numbers that LeBron has put up throughout his career. They're going to see the 4 finals MVPs, 4 championships, 4 regular season MVPs. And they're going to say, how did people not think this guy was the GOAT? But they're not going to see all the nuance of how he came about it. Even though we are in the greatest period of, being able to record history properly and with said nuance than we've ever had in the history of humanity. But I'm sure a lot of people are just going to let that go by the wayside. All right, let's continue.
The question that I have though about the longevity, the female analogy, the women analogy, do you think if you're the baddest girl in your senior year in high school through like sophomore year in college, and then you fall off like rim check Jordan Wizards, and you have a short but high peak, but then you have somebody who's like maybe slightly not as hot, but is hot like Halle Berry into her 50s. You don't weigh those things at all. It's just like whatever your peak is, even though you might have fallen off of a cliff in your early 20s.
All right, so she's being disingenuous. I don't know who this chick is. First of all, women, right? She got to, of course, go back to the woman analogy. You could tell that bothered her. But anyway, we'll move on from that. I'll leave that alone. All right, so there's that. But next, she's being disingenuous. When did Jordan ever fall off a cliff? And I'll get back to that, because I just want to hit the third point that before I forget it. The other one was she's saying you had a short high peak. So I'm assuming that she's saying that the short high peak was only Michael Jordan's 6 championships. And that's not the case, because Michael Jordan was great from the time that he walked into the league. Now, he wasn't always winning championships. And real quick, if you want some more context on that, there's a show on the channel. If you go back through the archives, there's a show called MJ Never Beat Bird. And I took the time to actually break down how that came about in terms of the pecking order in the East in the NBA when Michael Jordan came in, and why he didn't get past Bird and what it took for him to get past the Pistons. Good listen. I'm not just saying that because I did it, but good listen if you want some more context on why that never happened, because people like to throw it out there, especially a guy like Nick Wright. Oh, Michael Jordan was a complete loser before Scottie Pippen, 1-9 in the playoffs, never beat Bird. Okay, cool. He's acting like Scottie walked in and all of a sudden Mike started winning. No, Mike had to forge Scottie into the weapon he became, but totally different thing. Let's see. Nino with another super chat, $4.99. Appreciate you. Nino says, hold on. Are y'all saying that Bron played less comp than MJ? I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is MJ's comp was crazy too. It just wasn't designed in the way that you guys see comp nowadays, right? Y'all see comp as these super teams, but back then, it wasn't like that, right? You would have a star, maybe two, and then you would have a lot of really quality role players that made the team great, right? So just because there wasn't necessarily 3, 4, 5 Hall of Famers on every team, or on every championship level team, doesn't mean they weren't outstanding teams. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely, Phil Jackson. But here we go, Edward. People are going to say, well, Michael Jordan had Phil Jackson. Who was Phil Jackson before he got with Michael Jordan? What did he win a championship in the CBA, Albany Patroons, I believe? Come on, man. People act like Phil Jackson, as great a coach as he became, was some Hall of Fame coach when he got with Michael Jordan. Let's stop that. The disingenuousness continues, right? So anyway, let's get back to the final point the young lady made when she's talking about the Jordan and Washington years with the Wizards fell off the cliff, right? So if you all remember, I think Michael Jordan averaged just a smidge under 23 points per game in his second to last season in Washington. And here's the deal with that. People forget Michael Jordan went out that season early with a knee injury, right? And couldn't finish the year. Before Michael Jordan went out, does anybody remember? Here's that context we like to ignore. Do we know that the Washington Wizards were 4th seed in the East before Michael Jordan went out? 4th? Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4th. Thank you, LeBron. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop acting like, oh, Michael was just so terrible in Washington. Or we just admit, I know a lot of you LeBroniacs don't want to, but we admit that the standard Michael Jordan set as a Bull was so incredibly high and so unachievable that him at 40 years old, averaging 20 points per game, looked terrible, right? Which one is it? Either he wasn't as bad as we say in Washington, or he set the standard so high and so unachievable in Chicago that when he averaged 22 and then 20 as a Washington Wizard, that looked terrible. Let's pick one. But y'all won't do that. Y'all won't admit that. That'll kill you to do that. Let's see. Opinion Stated says, of course, MJ didn't team up with Bird, Magic, Hakeem, Ewing, etc. to get over the hump. No, he got back in the gym. He continued working with his team, right? He got better, he got stronger, he got bigger, and he got past his nemesis, the Detroit Pistons. That's how you do it. But LeBron is not built that way, unfortunately. Now, again, has LeBron had an all-time great NBA career? Yes, there's no question about it. But to say he's built like those guys, nah. Opinion Stated says, nah, they ain't gonna acknowledge that, Bruce. He was also averaging 25 per game before injuring himself. There you go. Coming back to play on that knee, his averages came down. Right. So at 39 years old, he's averaging 25 a game, has Washington in the 4th seed in the East, right? Then he gets hurt and they go out. So again, it's either was Jordan not as bad as you think in Washington, or was the bar he set in Chicago so unachievably high that it makes him look terrible in Washington? Pick one. Can't do it. Laker Nation also says, great point. His Wizards years brought his scoring average down to 30.1 points per game, which remains the highest in NBA history. Let's think about that. Okay, let's just say he was so terrible in Washington, like y'all LeBroniacs love to tell me. He was so terrible in Washington that his scoring average came down to 30.1, which remains the highest in NBA history. Just think about that. Just think about that. Okay. Let's see. It's Sid Bubba says, Format Podcast, Mike had a bad leg, smoking cigars, drinking hen, cut a finger in Washington. Yeah, all that, but guess what? Still giving dudes work, right? Ask Paul Pierce how Mike was in Washington. Ask Kobe how Mike was in Washington. Ask Vince Carter how Mike was in Washington. It's all on wax. Everybody will tell you. Everybody will tell you. But let's get back to Mase.
No, I do see that point, but Jordan didn't have that. That's why I'm trying to say that. That will be very much true. I'm a realist, I'm going to weigh both sides. Like if LeBron comes and he gets, let's say 5 championships and he didn't run to Miami to get it, he would definitely be in that. He would definitely be right there with Jordan, right there where you can even say, okay, some people could put him over him, and I wouldn't be mad at that. But the things that certain players have done to get their rings, that's different. That's different for my mindset.
Great point by Mase. Let me take a second to shout out my guy, Nick Wonderworker from Down Under. Nick, what's going on, brother? Haven't seen you in a long time. So glad to see you back in the chat, man. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. This is one of my favorite guys, is my man Nick from Down Under. Australia. All right. Boomerang. He came back like a boomerang. That's what I'm talking about. So back to what Mase said, man. Now, I don't even think LeBron would have needed 5 championships in Cleveland, right? Because remember, Cleveland was so terrible, right? That's what y'all tell me. He was so terrible. So in my estimation, real talk, with the MVPs and with all the records and all that, if LeBron got 3 or 4 titles, I'll even say 3 in Cleveland the right way, people would easily have him up there in that discussion, right? They would. Let's say he got 3 titles. He got the 4 MVPs. He continued to get the points. He's got the points record now, but he did all that in Cleveland. Now, in Cleveland, if some guys come to him, not mad at that, right? But he's not going out chasing guys and building teams. If he's not manipulating rosters all the time, not mad at that. If he's not getting coaches fired all the time, not mad at that. If he'd have gone about it the way the other all-time greats went about it, okay, cool. Now we have an argument. But again, when you shirk the system and you move around, under, over, all that stuff, nah, when you're doing all of that, people are going to look at you differently. And that's what Mase is talking about. And I don't know why it's so hard for LeBron fans to understand everybody doesn't value that type of movement. Now, on the flip side of it, for us non-LeBron fans, right? And I'll admit, I'm not a fan of LeBron. I don't hate the dude. I'm not jealous of the dude. I'm just not a fan of how he moves and how he's going about things, right? But with that said, I also have to understand that there are people who don't mind how he moves, right? I personally don't like how he moved. I have to understand there are people who don't mind how he moved. All right. If you're here in the chat and you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe for me. Really appreciate it. We're doing a great job with that today. All right, let's carry on with Mase.
Me and I'm not the end all say all to anything, but I'm just here to voice that opinion, because when you do certain things like that, I can't deem it as the same. Are you a great basketball player? Yes.
Yes.
Do you have the most points?
Yes.
Have you been the best for the longest? Yes.
No.
But that don't make.
Let me stop you there. No, he hasn't been the best for the longest. You can argue that, but it's not definitive because there's so many other people that have gotten busy in his era. So I can't definitively say, oh, LeBron's been the best in his era. First of all, to me, he didn't even take over as the best in the era until Kobe slowed down. What is that, like 2012? Or what? Laker Nation, what year was it that Kobe got the Achilles? 2012, 2013, was that around that time? So he wasn't the best until Kobe was no longer the best. At that point, okay, cool. Then he kind of stepped in and took that over. But then you got to say, okay, let's say he's the best in 2012. He takes that. Cool. Then 2015, Steph and the Warriors start winning, right? Then you might have an argument for that. 2016, he comes back from the 1-3. Now he can say, okay, now he's the best again. Then guess what? KD in the ultimate punk move, what I believe to be the ultimate punk move, and shout out Man Down Sports. Let's also hold Steph somewhat accountable for this, because if he didn't want that to happen, it couldn't have happened in Golden State. Thank you, Sid Bubba. Kobe went down with the Achilles in 2012. So let's say LeBron took over there. But anyway, yeah. So could we argue that Steph and or KD and or LeBron, all three, were in the argument for best player in the league in what 2017, 2018? But guess what? Right after that, I don't think he was the best player in the league. But there are some people who may make the argument that Giannis, right, back-to-back MVPs, a defensive player, I think 1 or 2 defensive players of the year, he wins the championship. Now some people may make the Giannis argument. Here comes Luka. Luka's out here killing, not winning championships, but he's out here killing. Does he immediately jump into the argument? 5 years straight, first-team All-Pro, or I'm sorry, first-team All-NBA? Does he jump into the argument? Jokic, you got a lot of people saying Jokic is the best player in the world. Does he jump into the argument? This is what I'm saying. LeBron, for very little of his time, has been definitively the best player in basketball. Not my opinion. Just go back and look. Just go back and look. So this whole he's been the best for the longest. Nah, don't agree with that. Don't agree with that. Nobody was coming to play in Cleveland. Edward, you're wrong. I told you this already. Remember, Michael Redd, former All-Star, Meta Sanford Artest, former All-Star Defensive Player of the Year. Both of these guys wanted to go to, they were willing to sign in Cleveland, right? And all they asked was, LeBron, are you going to be here? He was non-committal. So why would they sign knowing that LeBron wasn't planning on staying? We gotta be honest and keep this stuff in mind. But all this is the context that the mainstream media won't give you. All this is the context the LeBroniacs won't want to hear, right? So we got to include all of that stuff. Let's go on.
think you're the best.
But Trista, so I just need a little final.
Because when we
answer.
needed you to be the best, you walked off. When we needed you to be the best, you blamed other people. So we got to keep all of that on the same scale.
Real quick, when Mase talks about when we needed you to be the best, you blamed other people. That's something I didn't even get into on this particular show. But if you follow the NBA over the last 22 years, more specifically since about 07, right? If you follow the NBA since 07, what is that? 18 years. If you follow the NBA or the NBA media on the whole, you know, if you follow LeBron James, that this is a guy who, to Mace's point, consistently points the finger elsewhere. Doesn't look in the mirror, doesn't do what Michael Jackson says and start with the man in the mirror. No, he won't do that. But he will point the finger at you. He'll point the finger at the minimums in Miami. We didn't have enough, right? He'll point the finger at Andrew Wiggins before he even got back to Cleveland. Yeah, you out of here. Let's get Kevin Love, right? That's an all-NBA guy. Need that. Let's stack the team some more, right? He's always pointing at other people, right? He gets to LA, basically clears out all the young talent that they had assembled. Guys who go on to be pretty decent in other places, right? Clears out all that young talent out, says, yo, I need AD here, right? Gets AD over here, okay? Now we got Jeannie Buss pointing the finger. I don't know if that's coming from LeBron or not at AD while he was there. But the point is, this is a guy who doesn't take accountability or responsibility. Again, my 8-year-old son knows that when I get on him about something, he says, Dad, I'm going to take accountability. I was wrong for that. We ever heard LeBron do that? No, he's not built that way. Maybe it's not having a man in his life growing up. That could be part of it. But, real quick shout out to the nuclear families, man. You have one of those, you'll go a lot further. Carrying on.
I'm talking about when his dad died, he delivered. When he had the flu, he delivered. He never gave us an excuse for not delivering. That's why we still wear Jordans instead of LeBrons. That's why we wear them.
That's fair. That's fair. Do you put Steph Curry then over LeBron because Steph didn't ever leave a team, even though he inherited?
Yes, I'm glad you put. Now you're getting my mindset. I actually hold Kobe over LeBron.
Oh, somebody else that has Kobe ahead of LeBron? How dare he? He just a hater. Kobe wasn't good until he died. That's the only time we thought he was good. That's what they say, right? That's what my main man Bruce says. Nobody started talking about Kobe till after he died. Really? Oh, okay. All right. But anyway, there's a lot of people out there who feel that way. A lot of people who hold Kobe over LeBron. Why is that? Could it be because we watched how Kobe got down for 20 years? Now, in fairness, let me first address the Steph, then I'll address the Kobe. Steph never went anywhere, true indeed. Steph got handsomely compensated to stay where he was. That's one. But two, we can't also fully absolve Steph of his role in bringing KD to the Warriors. Again, shout out Man Down Sports. And that's something I found myself guilty of looking back now for many years, right? I always got on KD for that punk move. But if Steph didn't want it to happen, it couldn't have happened, right? At the end of the day, Steph allowed that access. So I gotta get on him the same way. That was not official, right? You should have ran it back and said, yo, me and my team, we are good enough to beat LeBron and his team. Let's go show the world. All right, cool. The Kobe piece, when Shaq left and Kobe was killing, but the Lakers were struggling. Remember, at one point, Kobe was upset, feeling like the management wasn't doing enough to, get him enough to get over the hump, right? He knew he didn't need a super team, but he needed a little more help. And so that was when I believe he went on Stephen A. Smith's radio show at the time. And he basically said, I want out, trade me, basically fix this or trade me. And he wanted to go to Chicago, and there was a deal in place for him to go to Chicago. However, Chicago didn't want to keep Luol Deng. They wanted to send Luol Deng to LA as part of the trade. And I guess he wanted Luol Deng to kind of be his Scottie Pippen to his Michael Jordan, right, in Chicago. And that didn't work out. That's how he ended up staying in LA. So shouts to Kobe for being there for the whole dub. But we also have to be honest and we have to be fair when we look at this and say that Kobe was almost gone at one point to Chicago. And so when everyone talks about how Kobe stayed with one team for 20 years, it's not quite that simple. There's a little bit of nuance there as well. Edward says, Bruce, he's a Kobe fan. He said that from the jump. This is why I'm not taking. No. Just because he's a Kobe fan does not mean that what he's saying is not legitimate. He hasn't been lying. Edward. You know that. Be fair. He was not lying. Okay. Yes, he may be a Kobe fan, but but that doesn't mean that what he's saying here about LeBron is not the case. You know that, and I know that. I get you're a LeBron guy, but you got to be honest here. Same way we can, same way you can. Let's see. Woody says Bulls would have had to gut a 49-win team to get Kobe. Well, I know that the main reason they didn't is because of the Luol Deng. It was going to happen, but the Luol Deng is what actually held it up and kept Kobe in LA. So Laker Nation says, yeah, when Chris Mim is your center and Smush Park is your point guard, I would force the issue and request a trade too. Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just saying, it is what it is. But the only reason I brought that up was not to take a shot at Kobe. God bless the dead. Everybody knows the respect I have for the Mamba and his greatness and what he was able to do on the floor. But I'm just trying to be 100% or as close as 100% objective as I can be in discussing this topic. But let's carry on.
To me, because with everything people saying, Kobe got his 5 championships with the team he was with.
And that's what I just talked about.
He went down with his team. When they came up, he came up with his team. He never felt like he had to go to play with Ray Allen to win. He put the team on his shoulders.
So that's true. Even though he was trying to roll out, he wasn't trying to roll out and build some crazy super team. So 2 things can be true, right? That's what I like to say. 2 things can be true.
When people said, well, you only got those because Shaq was with you. You got them without Shaq.
So that you only got those 3 titles with Shaq, that is such a lazy and disingenuous argument because all you need to do is look at what Kobe contributed during those playoff runs because getting out of the West back then, the West was an absolute gauntlet, a total and complete nightmare. The West was like the AFC is now. It was in football. It was a total gauntlet. So getting out of the West, that was the hard part. And Kobe matched Shaq nearly point for point during those 3 playoff runs. Now, it looks like Shaq was the bigger piece because why? By the time they got to the finals, I want to say when they played the Pacers, Shaq lined up against Rick Smits. Yeah, he was going to ragdoll him. When they played the Sixers, he played against Mount Mutombo, who was an all-time great defender, but still couldn't deal with Shaq at that point in his career and that point in Shaq's career. And finally, when they played against the Nets, he had like Todd McCullough. And maybe Kmart was on that team, but none of those guys were going to be able to deal with Shaq. So we got to be more objective, and we got to look into the nuance and the details when we talk about this. That's why Shaq got the 3 straight finals MVPs, and all the lazy LeBron lovers are going to say, oh, Shaq carried Kobe. Yeah, that's a lie. Just go back and do the knowledge. That's all I'm saying. Go back and do the knowledge. YouTube Observer. I don't know if I've seen you before. You may or may not have been here. Good to see you. Facts. Kobe Bryant won his rings the right way. Yeah, he did. The hard way. Yeah. And I want to say in his finals runs between 2008, 2009, 2010, and I know Laker Nation and Sid Bubba know this well, Kobe and the Lakers beat more 50-win teams than Magic Johnson, my number 2 player of all time, beat in his entire playoff career, right? That speaks to Kobe's greatness. That speaks how great he was. And he didn't have a top 75 player. He didn't have a top 50 player, right? He had Pau Gasol, 1 All-Star. Like, that's what he had, And when they got Metta World Peace, former All-Star, former Defensive Player of the Year. So did that help? That absolutely helped. And real quick, people like to point to 2010, which still hurts me. They beat my beloved Celtics in 7, and how Kobe, I think, was 6 of 24 from the field, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn in Game 7. But let's also look at this, right? If LeBron was in a game and he could not make a shot, he would shut down. Kobe was in that game, could not make a shot. You know what Kobe did? Kobe played defense, and Kobe grabbed 15 rebounds and made the game-winning assist. Kobe had the single-minded obsession to win that he would do anything it took. So, yeah, the shot wasn't falling, but guess what? 15 boards from a shooting guard in an era where shooting guards weren't getting 15 boards to win that game. That's what he did. So let's not, I hate when people, Kobe, Game 7, he almost lost it for him. He couldn't hit no shots. No, I actually see the opposite. He won it for him. He won it for them with his determination and obsession to win by doing everything else that it took. Am I right, Laker Nation? Am I right, Sid Bubba? Am I right? Y'all know what it is, man. And I'm not saying this because I'm some Laker jock sniffer or some Kobe guy. I'm saying this because I understand the greatness. I get it. I'm a diehard Celtics fan. Y'all know how bad it hurts me to sit here and tell y'all this. But Kobe did that, and I respect that. But what's the difference? People respect Kobe way more than they respect LeBron, and there's a reason for that. All right, let's keep going on.
Without moving, same location. Y'all come play with me. Can't say you're the king if you following other people to play.
Facts.
Not where I come from. You can't do that. And
Facts.
I know today we have better media and we have better access to the media. We didn't have internet and stuff like that. So you can paint narratives. But even when people act a certain way, when they get around real men, we know who's who. You can lie to other people. You can't lie to people like me. And that's
when you get around real men, we know who's who. I'll leave that there.
Probably why people don't like my takes, because you can't lie to me. You can lie to other people that's infatuated with things you've done, because I can see through it. Great basketball player. Number 3 still to me. Number 3. That's high, though.
Me, he's not number 3. He's not number 5. He's not top 10 to me because I don't think there's anybody in my top 10 that I can, for me, move him ahead of. So that's going to be what it is. I know a lot of people think that's insane, and that's fine. It's my list. But that's the end of what I wanted to play with Mase. I thought that those were really good comments that he made. I agreed with a lot of it. Wanted to clean up some of it in terms of clarifying. I wanted to, attack some of the disingenuousness. But on the whole, I thought that I thought that he had a lot of good things to say. What up, Henny Hardaway? Good to see you. Good to see you. Nobody care about Mase, Zesty, Self, and his opinion. Well, Henny Hardaway, clearly you don't. But it's very interesting because what's the show? It Is What It Is seems to do extremely well. So I guess a lot of people care about Mace's opinion. Dominique, what's good? Good to see you. Dominique says, who cares what Mase says? It's amazing how people just can't stop hating on LeBron. I got a question for you, Dominique. And you know what? When I open up the phone lines, I would love to have you call in because I want to hear from you. Why is it that people with a dissenting opinion are, quote unquote, hating on LeBron? Right? Why is it people just can't disagree with how some people see him? Or why is it some people can't apply the context and say that what you're being presented is not what you think it is? Why is that? Dominique also says, this is an absolute joke on here being envious of Bron's success. So, Dominique, you just started watching the show, so I'm going to tell you the same thing I say to anyone else. I'm not envious of LeBron's success at all. Not in the least. LeBron's a billionaire. Cool. I've never had $1 billion. I won't miss it. I've never had $1 million. I won't miss it. I'm good with that, right? The Almighty Allah has blessed me with a little something, right? I got health. I got strength. I got a family. You know, I could rock and roll. I could do my thing. I own a home. I'm good, right? Do I want some more money? We all want some more money, right? As you know, cool. But I don't have to be envious of him because I know that Allah has blessed me with a great deal, and Allah's plan for him is not Allah's plan for me. So enviousness, not even a consideration, doesn't happen. So because you move like that, doesn't mean I have to. But I appreciate your commentary. But I definitely want you to call in though, because I want to hear from you. Let's see. Yeah, Nick, no, you're 100% right. If you can't attack the argument, attack the person. And unfortunately, that's how it goes. And that's what Rick Bucher was talking about the other day when I played his clip, you know. Let's see. Edward says, Bruce, we're not going to call it hate. Hate, let's just say two sides of the coin. That's fine. And you know what? Real talk. That's what I've always said when it comes to my commentary on LeBron that so many people get upset about, right? What I say is this. You're so used to being inundated with the LeBron worship from the mainstream sports media that when you hear people that push back and give you the context and give you the details and they're not drinking the Kool-Aid, the easy response is to call them a hater because you haven't heard that on a regular basis before. But I'm going to ask anybody in this chat the exact same question that I always ask when people say you're a hater or this, that, and the third. Very simple. And I'm going to do it over and over again. Did I lie? Tell me one thing that I've ever said about LeBron James that was a lie. You can't. You can try, but you can't. Dominique says, it seems everyone in the media is infatuated with LeBron, whether good or bad. So here's the deal. It's not an infatuation with LeBron, Dominique. It's the fact of when it comes to the media, how it works is if you have a hot story, you keep pushing the hot story, right? And I'm not just some guy that, you know, bought a mic and a camera. I went to school for journalism. I'm a communication grad. I've worked as a sports writer before. I know how this works. So when the story's hot, you continue with the hot story. You find other angles to cover it until it's not hot anymore. That is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not And shout outs to, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody who, didn't go to school for that and is a content creator. Shout outs to everybody who's an independent content creator, whether I agree with what you're putting out or whether I don't. That's not the point. But the point is, we got to stop with this, oh, y'all just infatuated with Bron or y'all just some haters. No, LeBron is a major, major part of the media cycle. I don't know if you were here earlier, Dominique, when I said that we got to stop acting as if LeBron is not benefiting off of all this attention as well, whether it's quote unquote good or bad. You think he's not? LeBron subscribes to the no such thing as bad publicity, right? He does. So it is what it is. Let's see. Laker Nation says they do it on social media, not in person, because they know what will happen face to face. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of keyboard thugs out there, Laker Nation. There's absolutely a lot of keyboard thugs. But, people have the right to do, like, I'm not the dude that is going to get mad because you say something online, whatever. Because to that point, I know you probably wouldn't say it if you saw me. So, I mean, it's all good. But let's do this. Format podcast. Let's remember the Jason Whitlock story. LeBron had to learn how to fight the media early. True indeed. But that was one dude. It's not like the whole media wasn't already on his side, right? From the time he was 6 years old on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the media has been pushing him and propping him up. So it was one guy, Skip Bayless, one voice that was the pushback. So that's a stretch. Like, I like the perspective that he gave us, and I like the different way that Whitlock gave us to think about it, but that doesn't mean it was necessarily true, because the media has been behind LeBron and had his back from the very beginning. Let's see. Absolutely, Nick. Here we go. And I want Dominique to answer this question specifically. Dominique, do LeBron fans accuse people of being obsessed when the narrative is positive? Because I can tell you, I've never heard a LeBron fan complain when people are glazing him. I've never heard that, right? When they're glazing him, oh, they're the greatest thing in the world. But if you criticize this dude, oh my God, you're the devil walking the earth, right? So Dominique, I want your thoughts, right? Do you have an issue when people are glazing LeBron? That's what I want to know. Matter of fact, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead right now. I'm going to put the number up. I'm going to open these phone lines, y'all. I'm going to open these phone lines. 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. Let's go, man. I want to talk to y'all. I want to talk to some of y'all. I want to hear what your thoughts were on what Mase had to say. I want to hear what your thoughts were on what I had to say. Let's get it, man. Let's get some calls in. By the way, great interaction in the chat today. I appreciate all you guys. My guy. Bruce, what up?
Man, I was sitting back at work listening to your bullshit this morning. God damn, Bruce.
Okay, wait. Before you do that, I want you to do two things for me. One, I want you to give Dominique a shout out. Please do that, and then we'll continue.
You said do what?
I want you to give Dominique a shout out first. Go ahead and do that. She's been looking for you. Real talk.
Shout out Dominique, man. How you doing, love?
Yes.
I see she in there giving y'all hell in the chat.
Man, I ain't even worried about that, man. But, okay, the second thing, because you called in right away, said I was on some BS this morning. I want you to tell me one thing I said that was not true, and then you can continue. Just one.
Well, it's not the point that it's not true. It's just the point that, goddamn, Bruce, we've been through this 1,000 times, man. Like, why just can't we just give LeBron his flowers and forget all the other bullshit that everybody else say about him?
No, I will not forget it. No, I will not forget it, but I will give him his flowers, and I did.
They had a great game last night, man. And I wake up to this. I was wondering why you was calling me. I was at work. I texted you back. You didn't answer, but
yeah. No, I was calling you because I was trying to see if you was going to get on with me.
You wanted to get I wish you told me, but I might work though.
I apologize for that because I didn't even know I was going to do it till this morning. So I thought
that, man. That you made it.
No doubt.
Consider me. But anyway, well, Mase has he has an interesting perspective. He was respectful, and he was objective, and he got his opinion about things, man. And he had some good points, and he some things I didn't agree with him about, but I like that he was respectful. But you, Bruce, you just throwing dirt all of LeBron early in the goddamn morning.
Wait a minute. First of all, I corrected Mase where he was disingenuous on some things.
Yes, you did.
I agreed with him on some other things. What dirt did I throw on LeBron? I'd like to know.
No, you ain't throw no dirt on him. You got. I mean, goddamn, but still, y'all discrediting him.
I'm not.
It's like giving not. all his accomplishments is like y'all just like saying it doesn't count. You feel what I'm saying? That's how I come off.
I don't feel what you're saying, because I've never said his accomplishments don't count, but I say I value them differently based on what my values are and based on what I saw coming up and based on what the standard is and has been. That's why.
Yeah, and I hear you talking about how Mase talked about he ran to Miami and he was making analogies about how the woman analogy, man. But everybody had its perspective. Like you had your perspective. Y'all can feel how y'all want to feel. Like it's just like y'all came on here to this shit on LeBron, man. He having so much success right now. And it's just sad that y'all in the media, man, is find anything to talk about, anything he do, anything he, accomplish is always like is applauded. Then y'all at the same time y'all shit on him at the same time though. But I get it, man. That's what moves the needle in the media.
Man, nobody is crapping on LeBron, Bruce. That's one.
The other day, Bruce, you was like, okay, the Lakers playing well. I don't have no excuse. I ain't got nothing to say. I like how LeBron playing. He's playing great D. He's getting back. Then I wake up this morning. Wake up. Like I just happened to look at my phone and see that you called me, and I hit the link. And here you on here, y'all talking about some goddamn shit Mason said. It's just like it go right back downhill. I
thought the commentary was interesting, and I felt like, you know what, this would be a great live to do.
Yes, it was very interesting. His perspective was kind of cool. It was cool. I like that he's respectful, but when you talk, Bruce, it's a little bit disdain.
Oh, it's just me. Oh, okay, I got you. It's just me. All right, Bruce.
It's not just you, it's you and others, but right now LeBron has got everybody confused.
Oh, my goodness.
Whether good or bad, he's playing well at 40. I feel people just don't know how to take it right now. Listen, I'm sick of these guys in the media and he's sick of these guys in the chat. If you give LeBron some flowers or like LeBron glazing them, why you got to glaze? Y'all Jordan.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, glazing Jordan too. Y'all go ahead glazing Jordan. Y'all got Jordan glazes too. It's not just LeBron.
Well, let me ask.
Glazing Jordan early in the morning today, Bruce.
I was about to say, you hear me glazing Jordan? No, I'm not a. If you want to.
He didn't play. He was playing well in the Wizards and all this. Like
no. That's not glazing. That's telling facts. But here's the deal, Bruce. If you were to say to me, Bruce, you glaze Hakeem, I don't think I do, but maybe you have reason to say that.
Hakeem, your dream.
maybe you can say that, right? Okay, cool. Maybe you can say that, but I don't glaze Mike. Say again.
You send me my $5 every time you hit that, man.
That's a fact.
But go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I don't think I glaze Jordan. Somebody in the chat tell me, honestly, y'all think I glaze Jordan? Like I said, if you say dream, maybe you got me.
You don't glaze Jordan on the daily. But you glazed him this morning. But you glazed LeBron. You glaze LeBron, whether it's negative or positive. You glaze him. People don't want to accept that.
Okay.
Glazing go both ways. Whether you criticize or you applaud him. So goddamn, Bruce. On a good Friday morning, you want to be here fucking with LeBron with some shit Nate said. But when we had a live a few days ago, you was like, oh, the Lakers are playing well. Goddamn, Bruce. You praised him in one day and shit on him and 2 days later, Bruce, in 1 week.
Man, look, I don't know what to tell you, Bruce, but I do appreciate your perspective, though.
Before I go off the phone,
what's up, man?
He moves the needle for your channel, bro.
He does move the needle. Yes, he does. And you know what? I don't know if you heard it earlier when I mentioned it. The same people who say all you do is talk about LeBron. I'm not talking about you specifically, but those people, where are they when I'm talking about all these other topics? Where are they? Right?
True.
All I talk about is LeBron, but where are you? Not you, Bruce, but where are you in general when I'm talking about all the other stuff? So, like, you don't get to say that to me. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say this to you, brother. But yeah, man, it's a great live though, man. You keeping it pushing, you doing the right thing though. But I'm surprised, goddamn. Friday morning, goddamn, Bruce.
You know what?
Damn break, Bruce.
I wasn't even planning on doing this. I got up this morning, you know what I'm saying? Got up, take out the dog, using the bathroom and all that. And I'm listening to, I listen to stuff as soon as I wake up, right? I listen to so much stuff all day. And I was listening to Sports Tea when I was taking my son to school. And she actually was the one who was originally talking about this Mase topic. And I was like, yo, I need to go and listen to, his entire commentary on this. And I was like, yeah, I'm going live.
He has some great yes, he had a great perspective though. It was respectful.
I think so.
It was. I mean, even though I don't agree with everything he said,
right.
It was respectful. It was as like you could tell he got respect for LeBron because he didn't. He said it, but he just was like, it was just like he was trying to get some understanding. But everybody got their theories. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you, man.
No doubt, man. Thank you for calling me.
Next time.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Next time I do a live, I'm gonna have remember very shit. I'm gonna be right next time. Trust me.
No doubt, brother. No doubt, man. And I'm sorry I didn't give you advance notice. I didn't know I was gonna do this.
Yeah, give me the next time you ever want me on, give me advance notice.
Yeah. We're gonna schedule one next time. I got you.
Appreciate you, man. All right, man.
No, I appreciate you, man. Have a great one.
All right, bro.
Yeah. Sid Bubba, I saw you call, man. I saw you called. Go ahead and call back. And lines are open, y'all, man. Call if you want to. YouTube Observer says it is what it is. No matter what LeBron James does and does at this point, he will never be respected by true basketball fans ever. The guy cheated the game. Damn. I can see that. Sid Bubba, what's good, my brother?
Yo, what's happening, bro?
Doing all right, Chief. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
All right.
As the King James, as the second King James supporter behind my man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but Bruce, honestly, bro, I deal with you because you're real. We have our differences, but I can say like this. The facts are the facts. You would say, and that's all anyone could ask for.
Right.
But Transformers said it best though. Everybody got their error bias, what they grew up looking at.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So the reason and some people say, well, I don't think MJ the GOAT because he didn't beat the Celtics, nor he beat the Showtime Lakers. And I'm a Lakers fan.
Right.
Back in the day with Kareem and Magic.
Right.
I can't disregard what he did in his era. So younger guys are going to, they're going to see it a little bit different from LeBron, the way we look at it.
Right.
LeBron's a young guy to me, so I give him a lot of credit for the young.
Right.
So even he did the super teams, he lost. It's not the fact, he lost or he did this. The fact is, to me, he's at his best when we count him down, which is crazy. Just think about it. Every bad situation, you count the man out. He come up like the Phoenix and he fights.
Okay.
Oh, your favorite hater? The KD Warriors. He couldn't do it by himself. KD Warriors. Right. So, but to Bruce's point, LeBron is kind of the victim of that because had probably he not went to Miami, KD might not have went.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I've said it many times. You're right. I've said many times, LeBron made that okay to make that move.
Right. But it wasn't just him. See, I don't want that perspective out there. D-Wade was looking, but D-Wade looked good because LeBron them came to him in Miami and he already had it.
That's the difference.
That's the difference. Right. So, and you also got to look, so when did he really start winning? It was till Kobe taught him. One thing about it is it's always, I look at it as a process in the system. Kobe had to learn from Mike. Then LeBron had to actually learn from Kobe before he started winning. But nobody really says that. The advice that he gave him. Yeah, he might fight and lose, but one thing about a champion, everybody lose is getting back up to fight again. That's the sign of the champion. Whether you like it or not, Jet for life of 420, I call you out, bro. He got 4 titles. He got 4 rings, 4 finals MVPs.
He does.
4 regular season MVPs. You can't deny the accomplishments. Only him and MJ got 4 more. Whether you like it or don't like it. But you can't.
Kareem.
Nah, Kareem don't have 4 finals MVPs.
I was thinking regular season. Pardon me. Okay.
Right,
he's got 6 regular season. Okay. Got you.
Right. So if you look at all that, man, Shaq got 3, Timmy got 3. So the man done a lot. Now, I think I compare Mike and LeBron like this. Now, LeBron is more or less the mountain range. He extends out farther. Mike is Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest point in the world. Yeah, Jet Lifer. LeBron learned from Kobe. Yeah, Kobe gave him advice. If you at your lowest point, this is how you win. So one thing, I might be a LeBron fan, but I'm gonna come with the facts. That's why I respect
you. Sure do. You sure do.
So they can't call you a hater when you present the facts. Now, as you do in journalism, yeah, you might have your facts, but also I might have to have some of mine to go with yours.
Facts.
See,
no doubt.
This is a game. Yeah, pretty much it's a game. It's who presents the story the best. And you don't lie about it. So so that's about it. Anything else, Bruce?
No, man. No, I appreciate the call as always, Sid Bubba. Thank you, man.
All right.
No doubt.
No problem,
Bro. All right, man. You have a great one. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right.
All right. Who's up next? Dominique, I would love to hear from you. You always got a lot to say in the chat, and I appreciate it. People like you help keep it going. I don't expect everyone to agree with me, and that's A-okay. I absolutely would love to hear from you. Give us a call. The number's right here on the screen. I want to hear your thoughts. Opinion stated says the real issue for LeBron is that he was the face of the league, team hopping. Yeah. The man, the face, that guy, so to speak, in the NBA has never done that before him. That's true. But what they're going to say is, well, the guys before him never had the opportunity to do it. And that's not true because there was free agency from the mid 80s. So like guys could have done it if they wanted to. They were just wired differently. They weren't about teaming up. They were about trying to beat the opposition. So, yeah. YouTube Observer says LeBron literally had every all-star team and teammates on the Olympic team, and he's the greatest clown. Oh, my goodness. All right, here we go. Nino, what's good, brother?
What's going on, bro?
Maintaining. I'm cooking this morning, huh?
You cooking? You cooking now?
Oh, man, what you got for me, man?
I will say, I told you, hey, you be right on whatever topic, boy. That Bron topic, you get a little. Hey, I can't say you wrong today. Mase done lost his head.
Why Mase lost his head? Let me hear this. This is good.
This
Why?
what we do. This what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You put it perfect because you always say player orchestrate, right? You say that. You make the president do that. But these guys want you to believe that it wasn't that way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I studied basketball.
Okay.
The Celtics and the Lakers, how many finals did they go? There was 3 teams. Missing a team. Celtics and the Lakers. You know, in the 80s, they dominated the 80s.
Yeah.
How many Hall of Famers was on them teams?
Man, let's see. Lakers, Magic, Coop. Well, no, we even gotta go back earlier. The first one had what's my man from the Buffalo Braves? I know Sid Bubba gonna know. Led the league in scoring previously, but that guy, Magic, yeah, Sid knows who I'm talking about. I can't remember his name though. But that guy, that's one. Magic, Michael Cooper ended up coming. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy. That's 5 right there. That's 5 off the top I can think of.
James Worthy and they had Magic Johnson. I want to know that.
I have no idea. They got it through some slick trade or something. They had Magic. They weren't bad anymore, but somehow they got the number 1 overall pick in 82. I don't know how they pulled that off.
Boston got Bird Paris, so we know that.
Right.
We know that team that was head and shoulders above other
Bob
teams.
McAdoo. That's who it was. Bob McAdoo. But go ahead. Sorry.
We know teams were head and shoulders above other teams in the league. It's always been that way.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the 90s. Now this where it get weird. They had the expansion, right?
Mm-hmm.
This what us Bron fans trying to tell y'all.
Okay.
We trying to get y'all to see it.
Mm-hmm.
In the 80s, when MJ played those teams, listen to me now, Bruce.
I'm listening to you.
When he played those teams that was better than his team.
Mm-hmm.
Boston. You just talked about Boston stuffing his head, the Pistons stuffing his head.
Mm-hmm.
What player on those teams was better And we don't talk. Nobody bring this up about MJ.
Okay.
I even heard you bring it up before I heard them bring it up on the sports channel. Why don't they bring that up? Why does it go straight to the finals? We know why. But what player was better than MJ on those teams?
None. I mean, you might argue Bird because when
at the age, maybe because it's mine. Yeah.
Right. Maybe. Bird was on a crazy stretch from like 82 to like 87. I think he had like 5 straight top 3 MVP finishes, and he had 3 straight. So like that might be the only argument that you might have had.
But then MJ dropped like 50 on it?
63.
Like
49 in the 86 first round. Mike had 49 points in the first game and 63 in the second game. I think he cooled down like 23 in the third one. But yeah, he went insane. Me and Mel was talking about this one time, and I was telling him, I'm gonna just say MJ was better than Bird then, but his team wasn't better. Right.
And he had the knowledge. You go to the Pistons. MJ was better than Isaiah and Joe then.
Yes.
So the team. So we know one thing. We know ain't no individual superstar beating the team. You gotta have the team in place.
I gotta push back on you. Let's jump to 94 real quick.
Hakeem, your dream.
Go back and check that out.
So now see, Hakeem had a squad. Now he wasn't named on the squad.
Right. He had great role players around him, but he did everything. He led every major category through that entire playoff run and won the chip.
Yep, sound like Bron. It sound like Bron. Hey, but listen, we know how good Hakeem was.
Right.
Well, now everybody don't. I give you that.
Right.
Everybody don't. Even I had to go do my research when you was talking because I had to act like I know. I went back and watch, and then I listened to other players talk about how good he was. I'm like, oh no. He was the real deal.
Real deal.
So we can say this. We can say players, but a player got to have a team and a structure, a good structure of role players to win. We saying this. This our theory. Now, we could be wrong. When MJ hit the scene, this where you get to Kobe, your LeBron, your Melo, your teammates. Nobody never seen anything like MJ.
That's true.
Just the whole swag and the skills with the fundamentals, with the height, with the athleticism.
Yes.
We never seen it.
Yes.
There was no play. Even Dr. J had the athleticism, but he didn't have the other skill set like the shots and things like that. Bird had the shot and the IQ, but he didn't have the MJ. The tongue guy. He didn't have it.
Right.
So we saying it wasn't no way. We saying the competition was way because when you put MJ and you give him a team, you give him Pippen. Would you say Pippen was a top 5 small forward?
Yeah.
All right. Would you say Dennis Rodman was the best? Oh, well, I ain't gonna say the best.
He's up there.
Top 5
He's up there.
Top 5 rebounder. Right?
Yeah.
Was Horace Grant any good?
Yeah, no, Horace Grant. But okay, so Michael Jordan had a perfectly fit roster with the role players playing their roles. And going, I'm sorry.
Preach it. No, listen to you. Preach it.
Yeah, no, I was saying his roster was perfectly made with the role players playing their roles, and he made Scottie Pippen. He forged him into the weapon that he became. I just hate. I'm not trying to take anything from Scottie. I just hate the narrative that Scottie showed up and all of a sudden Mike starts winning. But see, a guy like Nick Wright, when he says those things, he can say that because he knows that most of the young people listening, most of the LeBroniacs, they're not going to go back and check. You know why they're not going to go back and check? LeBroniacs don't like information because it eventually and invariably proves them wrong. They don't like that. All they like is to throw stats at you, but they don't like info. They don't like context because it ends up proving them wrong and it hurts them. That's why they don't like that.
No, I agree with you. I agree. Listen, I do it sometimes. See, that's why I hate getting into this. I do it sometimes.
Here we go. Let me shout out the Bears TV. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, bro. Scottie saved MJ. Stop it. LeBron better. It's not even close. See what I'm talking about? Scottie saved MJ. This guy sounds like he's 12. You know?
The debates do this to us, though, Bruce. The debates do this to us. I understand what he's trying to say. But it's still foolish. I do it sometimes. Like, oh, he didn't win till he get Scotty, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they do to LeBron. But then when I think about it as a basketball, a real basketball man, I'm like, that sounds foolish, man. That's a foolish statement. But see, this is what the debates have done.
No, I get it, but here's the thing, right? And maybe I look at this differently because I am who I am, and then because of what I went to school for. But we could say, oh, the debates make us think this way, but it's too easy to just go check for yourself, right? You on a cell phone right now, Nino?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what that means? That means you literally right now have more information in your hand than anybody who has ever lived before you. You literally do. So there's no excuse for us to follow. There's no excuse for us to be ignorant, right? I mean, of course, no one's going to know everything, but there's no excuse for us to just believe whatever's fed to us. There's no excuse for us to just, to be ignorant. You see what I'm saying? Because information is literally a fingertip away. Go ahead.
But this word we got to get the point of that. I think the point he's trying to make, which even you got to agree because you just said it. Mike, this is why I get upset about the super team in Miami.
Okay,
that wasn't a good orchestrated thing. Even though Bron and Wade did it on their own, that wasn't a juggernaut team. But when you get MJ and you give him a Scottie Pippen, don't give MJ what's that guy named Clyde Drexler?
Right.
He's a great too. But when you give him a Scottie that excels at everything, but to me, just the mid-range, the scoring, the dancing like Mike, and he gonna do the dirty work. That's the player that you need for Mike, like Kobe.
Yes.
Right. If you put Kobe and A on the team, they'd call that a super team. They wouldn't have won nothing. Wouldn't have won anything.
Right.
But you go give them Shaq, you give them David Wilson, you give them Ron Artest, Lamar Odom. That's what Kobe needs. So I think the skill we confusing. I think you said this one time, but you didn't want to see it. LeBron is more in the Magic category of what he needs on the team. I know you didn't say he was like Magic.
Right. I get what you're saying.
So LeBron needs a Kyrie to me. Now, why he wasn't a good shooter, so they'll throw it off. But to me, the Cavs was better than the Miami Heat. Everybody talk about this super team. They lost 2 times. That wasn't an unbeatable team.
Right.
To me, Golden State when they got KD, unbeatable. But that's another thing.
Right.
So I think Mase don't really know nothing too much about what he's talking about. I think he's just a real LeBron, real Jordan guy.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people out there, and that's fine, but just say that. I mean, that's it. But
you be having some good points though. Hey, but I'm ready to see this caller get on you now.
Hey man, I'm trying.
Wait, you better be glad Young ain't in
here. He's in attack mode.
hey, appreciate it, Bruce. Tell him to catch every show, man. Even when you ain't talking about Bruin, we be having some good shows in here.
I'm trying to tell you, Nino, but people want to say, "Oh, you only talk about Bron. All you want to talk about is Bron." But where are you when I'm not talking about Bron? That's how you know, right? But it's all good.
All right, Bruce.
All right, Nino. Thank you for the call, always, man. I appreciate you, brother. All right, who's next? I guess Dominique's not going to call, man. I was looking for her. She always has a lot to say in the chat, but she never picks up the phone. That's very interesting. Let's see. All right, I'll wait a couple more minutes. Anybody else want to call in? I would love to hear from you guys. Let's see. YouTube Observer says today we're fed by the media and league. This BS garbage, that's this era is best. Bigger, faster, stronger, but all the stars are injured, load management, etc. Straight garbage. So let me speak to this load management piece, right? So I spoke to somebody who is an NBA insider and has been for many years, right? And while I have myself been guilty of getting on the players about load management, again, 2 things can be true, right? So we know this is the player empowerment era. Players have more power than they've ever had before. But this person who's an NBA insider told me for a fact that he knows, he's talking to multiple players and multiple GMs and etc. It's the organizations, the vast majority of the time, sitting these guys out for load management. It's not usually the players. But my thing is this. That's one side of it. So I got to give the players some grace on that. But here's my thing. In an era of player empowerment, if the players want to play, they could play if they really wanted to. So that's both sides of that coin. Oh man, here we go. Laker Nation, what's good, bro?
Hey, what's good? Give me a sec. I got to walk outside.
Okay.
I'm in the office. I don't want to.
No doubt. But yeah, so when it comes to the load management, we can't put all the blame on the players because a lot of times these organizations are really pushing for that to happen. And so, there's that. But again, if the players wanted to play, they would. So, two sides of the coin.
All right, almost there.
All right.
I know. You're like, damn, you calling in and just talking your talk, huh?
It ain't even about talking the talk, man. I'm just.
No, I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me.
Oh. Nah, man.
This office is pretty big, man. So I'm finally outside.
Okay. What you got, brother?
All right. So before you kick me off, because I know I'm on a time restriction.
No. You're good. Go ahead, man. Spit.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Hey, y'all, listen in the chat, man. We can agree, we can disagree, man, but we don't have to take it to all the negativity, man. This is a safe space to come here and talk sports and listen to me and Transformer and G or whoever else is on the show, Bloviate, man. But let's keep it respectful, even if we disagree, y'all.
Hey, you need one more moderator besides me, because
I'm gonna have to give somebody else a wrench too.
You have to get one more moderator because I was about to kick some people off, man. They started talking nonsense.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you good.
It's like it's supposed to be sports.
No doubt. But what you got, man?
I was going to say that, like I said the last time. Number one, we all know what this is all about, Bruce. Like me and you on the same wavelength on this, and it's not hating or it's just calling out the truth. Like this is just a narrative to try to push him on this made up GOAT debate that the media may have started in the first place to try to promote their product.
Right.
So every time this man does something, it is nauseating. I ain't gonna lie. Even for people that's not Laker fans. Shit, as Laker fans, it get nauseating sometimes too. Because it's like, damn, every time he has a good game, it's everywhere. Oh, LeBron scored 40 points tonight with 10 rebounds as a 40-year-old. This is awesome. It's like, it's everywhere.
Right.
And then here comes the 50K. Oh, he got 50K. The best person gets 50K with combined all-time points and playoffs. And I'm like, where was this for? I'm just thinking on Lakers in general, our organization. Where was this when Kareem broke Wilt Chamberlain to become number one?
And that obviously the media climate was much different back then, but to that point,
but they still had I'm sorry, I didn't mean. I know I'm cutting you off. But they had media outlets back then. They didn't have social media, but there was media outlets.
Yeah, there were, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah, but they still it wasn't like this. Yeah, he got his flowers at the game, and that was the end of it. He wasn't combining his playoffs and saying, look, he's the greatest scorer ever. Look, his all-time combined points is this, that, and the third.
Well, what I look at, not Nino, I'm sorry, Laker Nation. What I look at, unfortunately, is that that's why I asked the LeBron fans earlier. I'm like, why were none of you saying that Kareem was the GOAT prior to LeBron breaking the record when Kareem had the most points, most playoff points, most MVPs, most championship? Well, not most championships, but more championships than LeBron. But he wasn't the GOAT. But this is what I'm talking about. This is how they move. They will do anything for their guy. So it is what it is.
Of course, but they like to call us glazing, and they the biggest glazers of them all.
Hey, Henny Hardaway, real quick. I'm sorry, Laker Nation. I'm not taking your time. Let me just answer this. Henny Hardaway, why wouldn't you count playoffs and regular season points? Everyone does, right? What we're trying to say, nobody puts them together and gives somebody's totals, right? Kareem has 48,000 career points total between playoffs and regular season, but nobody ever says that. When it comes to every other player, they only ever talk about their regular season points. Nobody mentions their totals. Michael Jordan, I think, has 38,000 plus career total points, but nobody else ever referenced that. This is what I talk about, how when I say LeBron is manufactured, the way they package everything around him is to make it appear greater than it is. That's what I was talking about. But one more thing, William S. Kane, I see you with the super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother. Big dog, if you take away all the stats and accolades and just use the eye test and heart of the player, what do you think will be said? We already know what will be said, William S. Kane. We already know. But again, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it so much. If you're not subscribed, man, hit that like button and hit the subscribe. I appreciate you. Laker Nation, back to it. I apologize.
No, it's all good. You got to give shout out to your super chat to keep the show going.
Definitely.
I'm gonna put this out there. We don't talk about Magic combined assists with playoffs.
Right.
Because his playoff assist is more than what some of these players have all time.
Yes, that's correct.
And his assist be pushing over 20,000.
Yes. Same with Stockton. Absolutely.
When I go home, I have to find it and calculate it.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't talk like there's other players that done great things. It's the narrative that they want him to be the greatest of all time so bad.
They want it so bad. But it's not going to happen, though. That's the thing.
It's just because one person said this reason why, and I'm going to answer their question, is because LeBron fans always want to know why we always bring up Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan was the first person to show that dominance in the TV era.
Correct. Great point.
If Wilt played in the TV era, we'll be talking about Wilt just as much as we'll be talking about Jordan, because his dominance is just
inconceivable.
His dominance is ridiculous. It's just his games weren't televised, and all the racism and all that was going on back then as well. So, but his games weren't televised. Even his 100-point game, which a lot of people say was false, it wasn't televised either. But we talk about Kobe's 81 because we all saw it. So that's the big difference. We going by what we see. And I'm with Mase. Like, if you're gonna speak, speak the truth. Like,
that's it.
If you're gonna say it's your opinion, to say, okay, this is my opinion on this. My opinion is LeBron's the greatest player ever, and we'll respect that.
Right.
We'll be like, okay, he's the greatest player to you. That's fine.
Yes.
But he's not the greatest to ever put on a pair of sneakers and dribble a basketball. We know what we see.
Right.
And anybody that play basketball, if you're a top-notch player, it's easy for you to get your stats when you got teammates that are on your level or close to it. I mean, it's easier. It's easier to get your buckets when you're facing one-on-one.
Absolutely. KD, right? I was about to say KD knows that. Yes, he knows that.
When he's a guy, except for, I wouldn't even say his OKC days because, he still had Russ, Harden, and all them. But when he's a guy, he struggled. When he had one-on-one, he was destroying everybody.
Right.
Well, except the Rockets. They almost beat him. So it's easier. And, of course, the era with the rules is easier. That's why you got guys putting up these ridiculous numbers nowadays.
Well, we already know that, man.
It's easy.
We already know that. I mean, the league literally admitted that they did that. They admitted it. Stu Jackson said it back in like 2005 when he was still, I think, vice president of operations for the NBA. He said it. He told you what the league did. But anyway, go ahead.
And Adam Silver said it too when he took office. He said the casual fan wants to see offense. They want to see high scoring games. They don't want to see, and we're going to cater to that fan base.
That's right. He sure did.
And the younger generation. That's what he said. The very first day in office. that's what he was going to do. And he was going to get out of the aggressive. He was going to get rid of the aggressive play because he felt like it was ruining the product.
Mm-hmm.
Those were his exact words. And people that think I'm lying, they can go pull it up.
No, listen, I know. I'm with you. I know.
But the last thing I'm gonna touch on is and this is nauseating because I always got to do this to put these fanboys in their place. Not the true Bron fans, the ones that talk with intellect and understanding. I'm not referring to them. I'm referring to the fanboys that come on here and they just spit nonsense and laugh, thinking it's funny when they sound retarded. Number one, the first excuse that y'all make is Bron didn't win in Cleveland the first time because he didn't have no team.
Lies.
But then the same breath they come out their mouth and say, well, Jordan didn't win without Pippen. He got his butt kicked by Bird and all of them. When he had George Gervin, who was at the tail end of his career.
Yes, correct.
He had no consistent 20-point scorer on that team.
Oh, no, they'll tell you he had Orlando Woolridge. There you go. And he had Orlando Woolridge.
He didn't have no consistent. They might get 20 every now and then.
Yeah.
When Jordan got hurt, we saw the old, George Gervin back for a short amount of time, but it didn't maintain.
Right.
He had nobody on that team that made the All-Star game or was even voted, even received not one All-Star vote.
And as soon as he gets one All-Star teammate championship, like, come on, man.
When he came into his own. When he came into his own,
right.
When he took him a couple seasons.
Yes.
And he trained with Jordan, and Jordan took him under his wing, and he trained with his trainer at his house. So he molded Pippen to be what Pippen became. And the rest is history.
It is.
And LeBron fanboys, they like to knock the struggle because that was the standard in the 80s and 90s.
Correct.
The standard was you win with what you got. You don't you don't call up Magic, because Jordan would have called Magic and it would have been like, hey, Magic, man, I'm having a hard time here in Chicago. Let's team up. Come out here, leave LA, come out here. I'm gonna call Bird, see if we can get him.
Man, Magic would have been like, what?
Man, he would have lost all his credibility back then. They'd be like, well, this motherfucker had the nerve to call me and tell me I'm gonna bust his head when we play the Bulls.
Facts.
That dude's softest.
No, absolutely.
That was the mental standard back then. It wasn't this buddy banana boat stuff that you see now.
Nah. And don't get me wrong, guys weren't all enemies back then. Magic and Isaiah were tight. But Isaiah will tell you when it came down to the competition on the floor, that wasn't it. And Isaiah will also tell you that when we played him in the finals, that's when the friendship dried up. And that friendship dried up for like 20-something years. They just got cool again like 5 years ago.
Yeah, but there was some other stuff that went to it.
I know.
That we don't talk about.
Right.
Magic had his skeletons back then, too.
Yes, he did.
So them NBA players do a lot on them road trips.
But don't they?
That's not the discussion.
No, it's not.
Because none of them fools is faithful except for
they are.
None of them are faithful.
They're not clean. AC Green, that's it.
That's all I'm about to say, except for AC Green.
Right.
So none of them fools is faithful.
No.
But back to what I was saying. When they finally figured it out, he got a coach. And one thing they won't also talk about is Jordan was at the level that he was always coachable.
Yeah. But that's that's about
agree with everything the coach says. But he's not pulling his hand away from the coach. He's not snatching the clipboard on live TV. He's not bashing him in the press. You know what I'm saying? He actually the only time he actually made things known was, he was tired of getting clotheslined against the Pistons. He was like, that shit ain't basketball.
Yeah.
And two, he didn't want Jerry Krause to break up the team. Them were the few times that you ever hear Jordan never mentioned anything to the media about what was going on behind the scenes.
Right.
Other than that, he kept it behind closed doors where it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're not supposed. We're not supposed to know what's going on.
It's a different era. Yeah, exactly.
Nowadays, it's a different thing. We know who's going on the trend, who he won't,
mm-hmm.
who he's trying to recruit,
mm-hmm.
who he want to play with.
Yep.
And I'm gonna touch on that before I hang up.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I'm gonna finish with this MJ thing. But when he finally figured it out, he dominated the whole 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring this setup to you, but I'll bring it up here because I wanted to tell you off the channel, but I'll bring it up here. He went 682 games in that. We're not talking about 6 years. It's a whole stretch of the 90s.
Yeah. Without losing 3 games in a row. Yes.
Without 3. He's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who was number 2. I think it was. No, it wasn't Steph Curry.
No, it's not. I don't know who the number 2 is, but I think there's a big gap. But I know,
it was 300.
Mm-hmm.
The number 2 was 300, and it was like 380.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Was number 2.
That might be Magic for real.
I think it was Magic.
Yeah, it might be
number 2.
It might be, yeah.
But he was at 382.
Mm-hmm.
Bird was at 200 and something.
Mm-hmm.
He was like 4th on the list.
Yeah.
And Wilt was up there too. But Braun wasn't. Was as much great teammate help that he had, he wasn't on that list. So that's why we give pushback when we say, hold the fuck up. How is he the greatest ever when he hasn't even dominated his era?
Right.
He might show up for a game or two for a series and pull the team out of a jam, like he did with Toronto, like he did with. I'm sorry I have to say this, but like against your Celtics, against Paul Pierce, like he did against the Pistons. You know, he'll show up, but
it is Steph Curry.
Where? Oh, it was Steph Curry?
Yeah, it was Steph Curry the second. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that doesn't make sense because they were. That 5-year stretch, they were killing everything.
And Kobe has 306.
How did I forget about Kobe?
Yeah, I forgot about him too. Don't feel bad.
Shame on me as a Laker fan.
I wish I could forget about Kobe, that damn pass to our test. Anyway, go ahead.
Come on, Bruce, let that.
I can't.
You ain't gonna let that go.
No, I can't.
Because I ain't gonna let 08 go, man.
Right.
Beat us by 30 points, 2 games in a fucking row, man. 08 got kicked our ass.
Hey, man, we had to do something. It had been too long.
Man, y'all destroyed us in 08, man. Well, I think we got, 2 games that year?
Yeah, 4-2. Mm-hmm.
I think we got 1 in LA. And then we got one in one in Boston.
It was 1-1. All right, bet Dominique. I'm looking forward to it. All right, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, then you guys swept the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1 on our floor. I was so hot. Boy, I was so hot. I was so mad. I wanted to buy a Celtics jersey just to burn it. That's how hot I was.
Damn, that's uncalled for.
These fools won on the off.
Oh man, yeah. But you got anything else, bro? I'm gonna go ahead and
my last point.
Mm-hmm.
My last point. He dominated his 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Took 2 years off. Came back at 40. Played 82 games the first year. Hurt. And then I think the last year is when he missed some games, but he still played over 65 games. And those Wizards years brought his scoring average down to 30.1.
Right.
So you guys can imagine what it was before then. He would have been an all-time leader. So,
well, he still is, but I hear you.
No, I'm talking about a large margin.
Yeah, by a larger margin. Yep.
For his career. So just imagine if he was able to keep. I don't like speaking hypothetical, but Brown fans do. So this thing hypothetical. If he was able to keep that level of play for 20 years,
right, Oh, it would be. Yeah.
What his score numbers would have been.
Yeah, not even a point,
in a
man.
tougher era.
Yeah.
Last point, and then I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
Last point. I think we were talking. What were we talking about? Shit, I lost my train of thought. I think we were talking about the records or something. But damn, it's gonna come to me after we hang up. And then I'm gonna be mad.
Just hit me on the side, bro.
But when no shots at LeBron because they're playing great right now. Luka's starting to come into his own, and we're on a winning streak. But keep the same energy when you keep for one, you got to keep for the other. He didn't win any championships without top 75 co-star.
Mm-hmm.
When he was that dude, when he was by himself and he had to lead, I don't give a damn that he was young because y'all knocking another guy because he was young and didn't pull it out against a Hall of Fame squad that was better than the 2000 than the KD Warriors. Talking about your Bird Celtics. They don't get a pass either for him losing to KD's Warriors when they were a super team themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I give him a pass that year that he didn't win when everybody else got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But the same breath, he was the lone star. So he gets the criticism on that because you criticize another man when he was a lone star and he didn't win.
Right.
In a tougher division. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. The records. Yeah. When we were talking about Kobe, where everybody liked to talk about Kobe not better than Bron.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the Shaq Kobe. This is the older Kobe in the 2008, 9, 10, and 11. Every year in the playoffs, the number 8 seed had 50+ wins. And they always had a one or two teams that didn't make the playoffs that won 50 games. All right? Now the East, they had 3 or 4 50-win teams, and they had the 6th, 7th, and 8th seed with sub 500 with 39, 30, 33, and 32 wins. So that kills that narrative right there of which player was better. Because you can go, it's easier to go 8 straight when you stripped your conference and took two MVPs and put them on your team.
Right.
Level players. You killed two teams there. So it's easier. And you did all of these maneuvers for your favor and you still won less than Jordan. And I got Kareem over him. And Kareem and Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
And all three of them played, when they played, their conferences were the best conference in the league.
Right.
And that's all I got to say.
No doubt, man. I appreciate the call, Laker Nation.
But one more thing. Going forward, if anybody get on this chat, come in here talking nonsense, taking personal shots at people in the chat. When we're discussing sports, and I got Bruce on the line, he will back me up. I am one of the moderators. I will kick you out the chat for 24 hours.
There we go.
We're not gonna have that going forward. We're gonna have people calling people out by name and talking nonsense. This is supposed to be about sports. People supposed to come in here and relax, say what they got to say, enjoy themselves on the show, have fun in the chat, and that's it.
No doubt.
But I will start blocking people.
I appreciate that, Laker Nation. Thank you.
No problem. Great show, Bruce. And I'm out.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Henny Hardaway, opinion stated, your favorite hater. If y'all want to give a call in. If not, we will keep it moving. Let's see. All right. Well, I think we can go ahead and we can leave it right there. Yeah. Thank you so much for the engagement today, man. Y'all have been great. Oh, we got one more. Let's do it. Opinion stated. What's good, brother?
What's good, brother?
Maintain. How you doing?
Man, great. I'm doing good, bro. Great live this morning. Look,
appreciate it.
I just want to say something because I know that you typically do not. I just want to address, and I know you don't like the chat to be brought up in calls. I'm not taking shots at Ed. Shout out to Ed Dog. I just want to, because I know also that you don't like to talk the defamation stuff because it's, it's allegations, and allegations are not true. So I did just want to say to him out loud, I'm only talking about it because you guys brought it up. You know what I mean? I don't like to sling around the allegation either, man.
Right.
It's an allegation. You know what I mean? So I don't like to treat accusations like they're fact. You know what I mean? So I just want to be clear on that. To the topic, man, Mase was spitting, bro.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. I love how objective Mase and Cam, can be. They clown a lot, but I love how objective they've been. I mean, from the Bronny talk, you know what I mean? Just the real perspective shared about it to, the things that LeBron has accomplished. We can give LeBron his props. I think the milestones personally, and I'm not a LeBron guy, you know what I mean? But I think the milestones are credible.
Absolutely.
I like it when he achieves something new. It's like, dope, bro. We ain't never seen it before. So from that perspective, I love it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm not going to pretend that the achievements and accomplishments somehow make him the greatest of all time when framed in the perspective of longevity. You know what I mean? Like, nobody else played as long as LeBron. Has he played the longest? Yeah. So he gets credit. I mean, he ain't played the longest, but has he played the longest? That's such a high level. We can give him his props for that.
No question.
Without saying, well, because he's playing at a high level and he's done it this long, it makes him the greatest. But I ain't come to tear down LeBron either in that conversation, bro.
Right.
I want to talk about the game for last night. I don't know if you saw it, if you stayed up. It was a super late game.
Man, them West Coast games, man, I can't. I tried. I tried,
bro. Listen, here's something that I recognize, and I acknowledge the Lakers were playing great defense, bro. From that game where they traded AD against the Knicks through to this game where they faced off against the Knicks again, man. Prayers up for Brunson, man. I haven't heard any reports just yet this morning because I jumped right in to your chat, so I don't know if it's that ankle looked like, man. He ripped some stuff in that thing, man. The way he rolls. I've had some severe ankle sprains in my day. That's a high ankle sprain, the whole ankle bent. You know what I mean? So if he escaped that without torn ligaments or anything, bro, it's equivalent to when Giannis's knee hyperextended. You know what I mean? In the playoffs a couple years ago, it was that nasty, bro. It's craziness. But I recognize something about the defense of the Lakers last night. In packing the lane, bro, they're almost running like I don't know if you understand like the defensive sets and stuff like that from like the high school, college, level. But it's almost like they're running a triangle in two.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Okay.
Like,
yep.
To pack the lane. Yeah, it's beautiful, bro. It's beautiful to see.
That makes sense, though. That makes sense that you would do it that way when you have two guys who aren't at this point elite on-ball defenders. One who's that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And like you said, it makes perfect sense because when you have an NBA that is essentially just spread offense based, and so everybody's used to playing that way.
Right.
People are like, oh, the Lakers are baiting all other teams into shooting threes. They're not baiting anything. They're just leaving it open, and teams are more apt to shoot threes if they're like, ooh, we got an open man behind the 3-point line. Let's shoot it. So you're not baiting them into doing it. You're just giving into the spread offense style that most every NBA team has adopted in this present era. But to pack the lane like that with undersized people, you know what I mean? Like, and the spread offense, there ain't nobody in the lane. So it's Olay. Even if I don't take the three and I just, catch a slasher or I myself, dribble, penetrate, I get right to the rim with little to no opposition. You know what I mean? So for them to pack the lane on a team like the Knicks who don't shoot it well from the outside, man, they gave the Knicks the blues in the first quarter and a half until the Knicks adjusted. You know what I mean? And then when the Knicks started to hit a few outside shots, the Lakers had to come out of that packing the lane because it wasn't working. You know what I mean? Like they weren't trying to dribble penetrate just to score. And Brunson starts knocking down middies and all that stuff too. Sam and Jason Hart, they were carrying the offensive side of the ball through the first quarter and much of the second. And then in the second quarter, they actually start to dump the ball, to pull them out of that triangle. So they dumped the ball in the Cat. And Cat started being aggressive, man. And that's what is missing, I feel like, from all the televised games that I've seen the Knicks play. I'll go to the Knicks here, where they've struggled against the top tier teams, is that, Cat's less aggressive in those games, bro. And they need that aggression on the inside. Happy to see that the other big man is back, for the Knicks. But, man, that loss of Brunson, even if it's just for another 2 weeks, because it's diagnosed as a high ankle sprain, which is going to take some serious time for him to recover from. Bro, that's not a good look for the Knicks, man. So my heart was broken, bro, to see Brunson play such a remarkable game, bro. He played, I think he had 39 points overall, and helping to carry and keep the Knicks in the game. The Knicks were up by 10 with about 5 minutes to go, man, in the fourth quarter. And the Lakers rallied back, respectfully. Took a 3-point lead, I think, on a LeBron 3. And Brunson came down, got an and one to tie the game at 99, bro, to force it to overtime. But then, you know what I mean, like tore that ankle up, bro. So it was just heartbreaking to see it, bro. But give all props to the Lakers, man. Laker Nation, you know what I mean? Like Laker fandom, they have a lot to be excited for. The Luka trade, just watching Luka even hit a couple clutch threes down the stretch and the big shots and just to watch him be Luka. While it's exciting to watch as a basketball fan, bro, every time Luka hit a big shot and the crowd went crazy, my heart broke a little bit more, bro, for Dallas Mavericks fans, because it just doesn't seem right, bro. And it still doesn't sit right with me that the NBA allowed that trade to go through that way, bro. Like, it's just not right, bro. It's not cool. You know what I mean? So I just want to call in and say that, bro. Great live, man.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much for the support, and thank you for calling in.
Absolutely.
All right, Troll. I'm going to leave it right here. As opinion states. Well, hold on. Let's see. Hello, this is TheFormatPodcast.
Hello.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Nelson.
Nelson, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good, man. It was a great show.
I appreciate it. Let me interrupt you. Is this your first time calling in?
Yeah, it is.
All right, I'll make sure I lock this in, man. I didn't know who was calling. I thought it was a telemarketer or something. So that's why I kept shutting down your call. But thank you for calling back and sticking with me. You in Jersey?
Yeah, I'm in Jersey. I usually I've been following your podcast, so I've been usually I'll make a comment under my my handle is Drama Therapy.
Okay, Drama Therapy. I think I heard you on Man Down Sports before. Okay, shout out. Thank you for checking me out, man. But go ahead. Yeah,
man. I'm so tired of hearing all this. Everybody's trying to give LeBron benefit of the doubt with this whole
not me
and all this stuff. Yeah, like did anybody give that grace to Kobe?
No.
Kobe got acquitted or
he settled it.
He didn't get convicted or anything, and people still holding that against his
still. Yup.
But it comes to this bozo, and he's 22 years in the league, and it's so painfully obvious that he's like, come on now, it's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can play that long at that level without something, and his body frame is unnatural.
Well, I'm not going to say that. You know why I'm not going to say that? I'll just say there's no evidence of that, so I'm going to leave that alone.
And that's what everybody does. Like if that's the case, then they got to keep that same energy for Kobe, because that's messed up.
Agreed.
Like I'm so glad Mase came out and said everything that he said, because I'm so sick of these narratives. I'm sick of this LeBron Jordan stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like this dude has gotten. He's skated his whole way through the league. Like, can he do anything? Like he's avoided every aspect of the grind that you possibly can. Like, how is it people are giving him credit for team hopping, stacking, trading whole teams away mid-season?
Firing coaches.
Pushing, like driving down the lane, no definable NBA skill set. Pushing people out of the way, going to the basket, traveling every other play. And people are covering for, like, what does he have on the league? What does he have that, like, people are so afraid to speak what's plain right in front of their face? That's why that's why people like me become haters or called haters, because when you see something that's just so blatantly a lie, you can't, it enrages people. So now everything is just F LeBron, because nothing this guy does is genuine. He's the purest narcissist I have ever seen in my life.
So,
Like,
so that's so funny, Nelson. Sorry to interrupt you. That's so funny. Obviously, I don't have any psychological training, anything. I took, 1 or 2 psych classes in college, but no real training. And one thing I look at when I see this dude, I don't know the technical definition of narcissism, etc., but I know, to me, he is the most egotistical, self-aggrandizing NBA player we've ever seen. I've never seen anything like this guy. Because everything he does on and off the court is look at me, look at me, look at me. Like everything is specifically designed to bring attention to him. And like, I don't know if you were here at the beginning when I briefly mentioned the spat that he got into with, I don't even want to call it spat, but when he approached Stephen A. Smith last night, and we'll discuss that in a full topic on the Sunday show. But when he approached Stephen A. Smith and basically told him, keep my son out of this ish. And I'm like, bro, you are the one who painted the target on your son. Now you're mad when he's getting shot at. Are you kidding me? Like, come on, man. But that's how this guy moves. And it's easy to move that way when you have configured an entire media apparatus and an entire fan base to protect you at every turn over the last however many years.
And that's that cult mentality. So I do have the clinical and the psychological training to be able to.
Yes, I remember when you mentioned that.
So yes, everything you're saying is true. He's envious of others and believes everybody's envious of him. He's arrogant. He manipulates others. He's
all things I've said.
Grandiosity, feeling that you are unique and can only be around certain crowds that are just as unique as you. Like all of those traits describe his personality.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna make no kind of clinical diagnosis of him or anything like that.
Right.
If you talk about just pure character traits of a narcissist, his face should be inside the dictionary next to the word.
Right.
It bothers me because people don't take the time to dig deeper into this. This is not the type of person that we want our kids to follow after.
Too late.
I don't want my kids to develop those character traits and believe that the antics he's pulling is good. But nobody wants to speak on that. All they do is place a little ticker at the bottom saying LeBron is a great father, he's a great husband. Things they don't know anything about. How many cheating rumors is there about him? It looks like right now he's manipulating his son, putting him in a league that he doesn't deserve to be in.
I've spoken on that how many times. I truly believe, again, I don't know the guy personally. I truly believe that move was much more for him than it was for his son. Not saying he doesn't love his son. I believe he loves his son with all his heart. I do. But I believe that particular move was for him, not for Bronny.
The fact that you even got to question it, though, that says something. Because other people that have like good character that that like have integrity and stuff like that, they might do something like that, and you'd be like, "Well, all right, I know their heart is in the right place." But with him, because of all his past antics and the things that he said and things that he said that are completely egotistical, you can't give him the benefit of the doubt on those types of things. So I'm just fully sick of everything that has to do with LeBron. I will be so bad if they win a title this year, because you can see the power dynamic between him and Luka, where LeBron still tries to make it seem like he's top dog, but Luka is like clearly running the show. But LeBron will do these little subtle things to try to make it seem like he's still the number one. So I want my league back. I want the real NBA.
We all do, man. We all do. I don't know if it's ever going to come back. And not as long as Adam Silver's the commissioner. I don't know if it's ever going to come back.
True. But you know what? I had to say something. I know all the LeBron cultists are going to go off and
Oh yeah, they're not going to be happy with this.
Yeah, but like it's got to be said at some point. This crap has got to stop.
Well, he's been enabled with that since he was 16. So I don't, he's not going to change now.
That's why I'm called the chosen one at that young age and believe to believe it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many people, if all of that was showered on them from such a young age, would have been able to push back against that, especially someone who unfortunately, didn't grow up in a proper 2-parent environment, mother-father environment with a father to teach them and guide them the right ways on things. And I'm not saying that if you don't have a father in your life, you can't be guided, but clearly there was no proper male role model in place for him. So,
True. Yeah. A father would have taught you integrity and taught you how to be a man.
Accountability. Right. Yes.
It's kind of like the media raised him. They told him all these things from a young age. And like he fully believes all of it. So I feel bad for him in a sense, But at the same time, like you got to have people in your corner that hold you accountable and help you to keep a level of like level-headedness or self-awareness to know that you sound like an idiot.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Yeah, but no, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much for taking the call.
Hey, thank you so much for calling, man. I'll make sure I'm locking this number, man. I appreciate you.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Nelson. Have a great day, man.
You too.
All right, team. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drop it right here for sure. Hey, thank you again, everybody who stayed with me the whole way. This was another one that I was not intending for it to be this long, but man, you guys were so engaged. You did a great job in the chat. You did a great job with the calls. I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for making this live a success. Make sure that you guys are sharing it. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe on the way out, please do so. And once again, man, I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And we out. Peace.